Hello, Vanguardians. This is Anthony here, and
David
of Epic CFV 365 coming at you with an Extreme Battlers deck profile. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe buttons are down below. Be sure to click those if you have not already done so. Leave a comment down below with what you think and or any suggestions. And check out the links for Facebook, eBay, Big N, David Adams, and local Facebook page also found down below.
What's up, guys? This is Extreme Battlers, and we're going to start off with a starter. And it's Extreme Battler Rumble. He's really nice because when you bring him back, you usually want to bring him back to one of the side parts, not really usually behind the Vanguard. But when the rear guard unit in front of him stands, or when the unit in front of him stands, this will stand as well. And since you don't usually use a standing Vanguard as much anymore, you usually want to put it behind a rear guard just to get that extra. It's less cards that you have to put back from hand, which is always nice with this deck especially. Grade 3s, probably the most important one is Victor. If you're not riding Victor, there's a lot higher chance of not winning that game. So Victor is pretty key to the deck working as it should. When you stride on top of him, it gives the Vanguard when it attacks, counterblast 1, and then standing unit give it plus 5k. And then when he's at GB2, which isn't like, his GB2 skill is great as well, he gets 5k, and then when he swings, you stand something for free and give it 5k. So very, very powerful unit. For the other grade 3, we're running 3 Extreme Battler Dan Shark. This is probably the best the best other grade 3 you can run. He's not too great. When he's placed on Vanguard, you counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and search top 3 for a rush. But there's not really a lot out for the rush that you run right now. So that skill is okay. He does have a rear guard skill, which is the main reason that when he stands. And if his attack hits after he stands, you can counterblast 1 and retire something that has less power than he does. And that on-hit pressure is really nice if you have to use him. So the grade 2s is where most of the heat comes from in this deck. We're running 4 Cool Hank. This is by far the most important grade 2 in the deck. It just lets all the plays happen. It's when it attacks as a Vanguard and when it's boosted, you counterblast 1 standing unit and give it 5k. But it does make all your shenanigans happen with this deck. Then we're running 4 Extreme Battler Sazanda. This is the biggest swinging card of the deck. Every time it stands, it gets plus 5k. That includes stand triggers, so if you hit a stand trigger and stand this thing, it'll be getting 10k when it stands. Usually with this deck, every time it stands, it's getting 10k unless you're using the stand trigger. The stand trigger's on field effect, but that's still really good because it's basically a free attack. So Sazanda is very powerful as well. And then for the other grade 2, we're running 4 Starlight Hedgehog. It may seem like an odd choice, but it's really nice because of the counter charging and the draw. This whole deck, you really want to get your combo pieces as quickly as possible. And this is another card that just helps you sift through the deck and cycle and dig deeper for what you actually need. It also gives counter charging, so it makes some of your effects just free. And that's what the deck, something else the deck has been needing. It's just another way that's still good and still allowing you to just countercharge without just countercharging. It has another effect. For grade 1s, running 4 of the Unflip PG, which is pretty important in this deck. Again, just the option of having unflipping damage is important because this thing, it can be counterblast heavy, and it's going to get that way after the G-Zone goes up to 16. So next we're running 4 of the Stride Fodders. He's also very important if you open with Dan Shark here, because then you really do want to search out Victor just to get in a better place in the game. The discarding the card doesn't really matter, you just need to get to Victor in this deck. And one of the main reasons you do is for Maliaki. So his skill is really powerful, he's a better final wrench. When the card in front of him stands, it gets a skill. This says when it attacks, it gives 2 units 4k. And if that unit in front of him stands again, that gets that skill again, so next time it'll attack, it'll give something 2 units 8k, or up to 4 units 4k, or something like that. You just can't stack it all on 1 unit, but that's still fine. You can actually make a pretty decently large column with Maliaki and the starter, with Maliaki boosting the starter, and just keep standing him, or Maliaki. I've had this column get up to somewhere around 30-35k before without any triggers. Then kind of a tech choice is 2 Shout. Again, you want to be able to sift through the deck as quickly as possible. If you're going first, it's a good ride. because you can just have something to do and just dig deeper into the deck. So that's what you really want to do, and then he's just guard or just actually pretty useful late game as well. So he's all around a good card. And it's weird, you actually got to go through the triggers in this deck too, because they're all specific. But you run the crits are, you can change this around, but I use 2 red lightning and 4 break pass, the Victor crit. You can switch this around. At one point I had 3 and 3, but I just wanted to be able to draw through the deck quicker, and I didn't counterblast as heavy. If you're finding that your build counterblasts more, then you can just run more red lightnings. Like this ratio is very, very switchable, aroundable, whatever you want to say. So those are crits. For stand triggers, we're running 4 Energy Girl. This just gives you a free stand. This in a column with Sazanda, it'll swing 13k, then restand and swing 14k without having to counterblast a thing. So two swings with a trigger going back into a deck is not bad at all. So 4 Energy Girl. And then the other 2 stand triggers are Subliminal Gray. And it's the only other stand trigger I actually liked. I don't like Perfect Referee. Or whatever his name is, but this one isn't bad because again he shuffles himself back into the deck and he helps you cycle through the deck, which is what I really wanted. And then we're running just 4 heal triggers. For the G zone, this is where the deck had the most help besides the Maliakis from the latest set. We had got 4 of our Victor strides. This guy is really, really nice because when you stride him on top of, like, you don't have to stride him on top of Victor. It's just a better thing to do. But when you do stride and Victor's under him, you're standing 2 units, giving each of them 5k for a counterblast. Plus he also has the on-hit pressure of standing yet another unit and giving it 5k. So he's a lot of pressure and he doesn't use up any counterblasts himself. We still got 2 of these Victoplasmas in here. This is good against the Link Joker matchup or any other thing that like hurts rear guards, Kagero, stuff like that, because I need to be able to still swing multiple times to keep pressure on, but can't do it without rear guards. And then 2 Tri-Brute. Usually use him as your first stride. He gets rid of the problem cards. I've retired entire fields with this guy before, and I want another one for late game in case they bring up another problem card, say like Laurel or Silent Tom that I'm having trouble getting rid of. And then for probably the 16 card increase, it'll be all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 4 of the new guy Bustard, or Media Kaiser Bustard. He's just another standard or standing guy. He stands himself and he stands rear guards, which is something this deck doesn't have yet, which is really nice. So 4 of him and then 4 of any combination of G Guardian or something along those lines.
Alright, thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe buttons are down below. Be sure to leave a comment with what you think. Check us out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for all Vanguard videos. And check links down below for Facebook, eBay, Big N, David Adams, and Local's Facebook page. This has been Anthony and
David.
of Epic CFV 365 saying, if you're going to card fight, make it epic.
Dice.